and he's going to house it.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Angle of Pursuit podcast, your fantasy football, sports betting, and NASCAR home. I'm your host, Kyle Robert. You follow me on Twitter at NotoriousKRO. Follow the show on Twitter at FPAOP, on Instagram at AOP Podcast, and that's Brian Twining at Greasy Rules 14. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Kyle. Man, what a freaking chaotic and weird weekend we just witnessed. Prior to recording, we were just talking about those huge favorites, and obviously we picked on the wrong one.
Yeah.
Crazy. Just a crazy
and by
weekend.
chaotic, you mean absolutely terrible and pathetic. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it was a great. It was quite the weekend for my picks. It was a bloodbath from the start. Why am I throwing that up? This one did not go well. Had the Giants. They won on the field.
You beat me there. You beat me there.
And I had Derrick Henry under. That's it. So the Panthers Giants over did not come in. The Texans, even though I felt like they were the right side, actually winning that game for a little bit, did not win. We talked about the big favorites. I backed the Rams also as my best bet. That did not even have a prayer. I was hoping for that back door to get kicked down.
Hey, I didn't get that first half either.
And if you had any sort of combination of Rams, Bucks, and what was the other one? Arizona. If you teased them, if you parlayed them, if you moneyline parlayed them, pretty much they all. I mean, the Rams didn't cover on the spread, but if you teased it or moneyline parlayed it, you were cashing. So
yeah,
I figured one of them would let me down. I didn't realize it would be the one I actually bet on.
Yeah, that was surprising to say the least.
The Bears offense being an absolute train wreck was almost, and still he got like Justin Fields prop almost came in. It was like 180. He had 180 and needed 213. That game was pathetic. Derrick Henry got under, so that was good. And then obviously with Fields struggling, Darnell Mooney struggled, and
yep.
Not great. You had Panthers money line. It's a loss. You had Jets team total. We should just target the Jets. They're just an absolute train wreck.
Let me say though that there was a few times where I got really worried late in that second half that they were going to go ahead and mess up that play because they were. Yeah. I mean, they were taking shots down the field with Mike White of all people under center. So yeah, that one kind of scared me.
The Falcons-Dolphins turned into like the shootout that no one saw coming. A nice little over there for you. As you mentioned, your Rams first half play did not come through. Your teaser did not come through. Who let you down there?
The Ravens getting smashed at home.
Yeah, that was of all the outcomes that I think. If you ask people what was most surprising, I think the Ravens getting crushed after looking so good a week ago, and then obviously my Titans beating Kansas City, and not just beating them down.
Yeah.
27-3. If I had told you after the Jets debacle that the Titans would go 3-0 following that and beat both Buffalo and Kansas City, you would have probably bet me whatever I wanted to bet. But here we are. The Titans look awesome. The Colts, are you buying the Colts as a legitimate team? Should we be more optimistic on their outlook, or have they kind of had a nice little stretch? Obviously played a crappy weather game here in San Francisco on Sunday night. I mean, everything's kind of coming together. I don't like Wentz. It was funny because they were talking about Wentz and how he hasn't thrown any picks and how great he's looked. And I think like 3 or 4 straight passes and hit the Niners defenders in the hands or in the chest, and it wasn't picked off. And then that like flick thing he did that ended up getting picked off.
I mean that one was a fumble, but why are you even trying to make that play?
I think he was. So my read on it was I thought he was trying to throw it away, and I think because the defender tipped it a little bit. I did think it was funny that they went back and changed it to a fumble though, because if they thought it was a fumble initially, they would have called it an incomplete pass.
You're
But
right.
because the Niners guy caught it, they called it, oh, well, you get the ball. Like, it's funny how they can retroactively go back and tweak things a little bit.
Yeah.
Good call on Devonta Smith. Got over
That
his
one,
drop.
dude, honestly, it's interesting how we talk about the Bears offense. This Philadelphia offense is probably worse
Nick
when you factor
Sirianni
in
is not it. I don't
when
know
you when
what
you
I don't know
factor
what
in
the
like this is Jalen Hurts has many more starts under his belt. They can't get their wide receivers involved unless it involves just sending them on 9 routes
yeah.
basically, and they can't get the running game going. It's a mess there.
Yep.
They suck.
Yep. As you mentioned, the Bengals, that was impressive. They look really, really good. Jamar Chase, after a whole offseason of being told he can't catch the football, seems to be doing okay. These LSU receivers the past couple of years have been
Yes.
absolutely incredible. Any other results from Sunday that really stood out to you, and you're kind of changing how you view things a little bit going forward?
Well, I mean, looking at that Bengals Ravens game, that one for sure kind of solidified Cincinnati, like we talked about how their defense is legit. I mean, not that Baltimore's passing game is that good, but the Falcons for me, I think are extremely interesting when looking ahead in the NFC because they're playing decent defense. I mean, they're still crappy, but they're not the worst. And then this offense is finally getting rolling, and we still haven't even seen the big game with Calvin Ridley yet. Kyle Pitts has arrived as everything that we thought he should be, as with how high of a draft pick he is. So I do think that for me, I think the Falcons kind of putting together this string of wins is pretty interesting going forward.
Yep. Green Bay was impressive. They're an interesting team, especially when covering a big number. They seem to really get a big lead and they can get it quickly and then kind of put it into cruise control a little bit, and then they really rely on the other team giving them the ball back or failing to score to kind of
Yes.
cover bigger numbers.
I think I think for me that game, so the end of the game shows that Green Bay covered that, but for all intents and purposes, Washington could have won that game. They had so many opportunities inside the red zone to where they just couldn't capitalize. They
Yeah.
either turn it over on downs. Like Green Bay was in a spot where Washington could have taken that game if they were better, and it's really opening up the possibility for me to even start considering the Cowboys as maybe the second best team in the NFC, with looking like Green Bay is not exactly as good as what their record indicates.
Yeah, I still have questions about Green Bay despite their, basically going undefeated since getting
Being
destroyed
shellacked.
in New Orleans, or I guess technically Jacksonville. But yeah, it's week 7 was a little interesting. Let's talk some key injuries. A lot of guys were going to be playing or seem like they would be fine and then kind of scratched. Obviously, Darren Waller being the big one, Sterling Shepard being another one. And then obviously Odell played on Thursday night, but kind of whatever.
Well, he doesn't. They don't even need him. So
Yeah. Zach Wilson got hurt, and Mike White came in, and the Jets still were the Jets. So I don't know that any of the injuries we saw from Sunday are that meaningful. Patrick Mahomes got a little dinged up, but I think he'll be just fine. So anything from the weekend that you're really considering or is concerning for you, or any updates on Dak as the Cowboys return from bye?
So all expectations are Dak will be full go by Sunday night. It's looking more and more likely that he's recovered pretty fast and it wasn't that serious of an injury. When looking at the Jets situation, I mean, is this a downgrade at quarterback, or is this possibly something that they play a little bit more efficient on offense? Because I mean, he's a veteran who has been in the system, or he's been in the NFL for a couple of years now. So it'll be interesting to see how the Jets actually operate going forward for the 2 to 4 weeks that Zach Wilson will be out. Patrick Mahomes injured or not, like there's something there. I mean, they're turning the ball
So the
over.
Chiefs are a mess. They're big play dependent, and when Tyreek Hill has clearly been banged up for a while,
Yes.
you can tell
Travis
like that
Kelce too. You can see.
Kelsey's yeah, this is the year. This really feels like the year from hell for the Chiefs. This is a team that's 3-4 currently, and it has yet to beat a team with a winning record. And we keep propping them up. We keep offering too many points, and not only are they not winning, but they're not. I mean, not covering, but they're not winning. In games that they feel like they should be at least like they should have been competitive against the Titans. Like the Titans, I'm very happy as a Titans fan to see the defense playing better and everything trending in the right direction as we go into a tough matchup with the Colts. But our
There's no
secondary is
reason.
atrocious, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes, even with Byron Pringle and Mecole Hardman as his top two options, should have been able to throw for 350, 3 or
Yeah.
4 touchdowns, and had no issues. And that was definitely not the case. So that was kind of wild to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
like we said, it was just an interesting week.
yeah. Let's turn the page. Let's focus on week 8 and look for some opportunities to rebound after a less than ideal week 7. Just from an top down perspective, overview, overall, anything that jumps out to you, any numbers that you said, wow, I can't believe that number is at blank.
Honestly, it involves a team that's playing tonight, and that's Seattle is currently only a 3.5 point favorite against Jacksonville. Whether it's Geno Smith or Russell Wilson, this Seahawks team at home is still one of the toughest teams to beat. And now they get a rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback. I think Seattle, if Seattle comes out tonight and they beat the Saints, I think that number probably creeps up into like 5-6 by the time that's kickoff next week. So this is a spot where I'm actually betting that right now.
Yeah.
Seattle 3.5.
Yeah, we'll hit our bet nows in just a little bit, but yeah, that is interesting. Obviously, we'll try and get this will probably come out post Monday Night Football, so it'll be interesting to see that number move, and obviously depending on how the game goes tonight. I think we need to talk about Packers Cardinals just because by the time we
Yeah.
record, that game will be happening, or by the time everybody else can hear it. Currently, the Cardinals are like 3.5, 4 point favorites. More 42% of the bets, 77% of the money. We talked about our less than ideal results for the Packers. We're not super duper excited about them, but the Cardinals have had a nice run here, but they've also played some really crappy teams of late. So I guess, do you have a strong feeling one way or the other in that game?
I mean, honestly, I think if you were to remove the name Green Bay Packers, this is a smash spot for the Cardinals because what they offer on offense, I mean, they probably right up there with Dallas and Tampa Bay on offense in terms of weapons. Now with Zach Ertz playing tight end for them, like I think this is a spot where it's name value here for Green Bay, which is keeping this line at where it is right now at 3.5. Because for me, Arizona is by far the better overall team this year from what we've seen, and the fact that they're probably getting Chandler Jones back to have rushing the quarterback on Aaron Rodgers here. I think this is a spot where this is a pretty nice area to really see how good Arizona is, and I think they show it.
Yeah, it's wild. Kyler continues to look like hobbled and banged up and keeps playing amazing. I don't know what happened. Like, he got pulled over into the end zone that ended up being a safety, and got his helmet ripped off, and then came out and balled out. He has so many weapons. That team is going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah,
I mean, are we looking at a situation where if Arizona can get by with a win, that they could do kind of what the Steelers did last year, where they won like 11 or 12 their first, their without losing?
yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. These guys are doing everything on both sides of the ball. They're getting to the quarterback. They're creating turnovers.
Yeah.
They now have a legit running game
Mhm.
outside of Kyler Murray with that two-headed monster of James Conner and Chase Edmonds, who provide two different skill sets. And like I said, like outside of Dallas and Tampa, I don't think there's any team in the NFL that brings this skilled offense. I'm speechless for how good they actually are, considering for my job, I did a predictions thing this year, and I thought that this team was going to be so bad that Cliff Kingsbury was going to be fired during the year.
Yeah, my favorite over/under was the Cardinals under, so that was real dumb.
There you go. It's just showing like we were proven wrong immediately.
Yeah, they're great, and they are. As long as this team is healthy, they're going to be really competitive. I think you're right. I think if you like Green Bay here, you take them on the money line. And if you like Arizona, then just lay it. Any other games that are really jumping out to you, and the ones that really garnered my interest, Philly is somehow a favorite on the road. I know I know it's Detroit, but like we were just talking about the Eagles and how underwhelming they are, and they were getting blown out against the Raiders, and eventually came back and made it look closer than it was. And then the Bengals going on the road, they're laying less than a touchdown against the Jets with Mike White. Like, I know it's hard to go on the road and play like that again. Now we're, or I guess, what am I talking about? Man, that line must have moved.
That was probably initial line prior to.
Let me see.
Yeah, because I have Bengals minus 9.5.
Oh no, 9.5. Yeah, no, I don't know why I said touchdown. I meant less than double digits. Must have been looking at something else. But yeah, I don't. For me, I made this game 13.5 for the Bengals, and it's 9.5 or 10. That, I mean, am I overreacting too much to one game, or like this is a Jets team that already had issues? Now they're having Mike White play quarterback, and I can get the Bengals minus 9 or 9.5. I know it's on the road, but like the defenses look good, the offense looks incredible, and the Jets can't do anything.
Yeah, this is a spot where if it stays anywhere near that 10 mark or underneath that 10 mark, for me, that's going to be a play, because you're looking at a Bengals team who's beaten both Pittsburgh and Baltimore on the road, which they haven't done that in years.
Mm-hmm.
And this Jets team is trash. Like, have they been competitive outside of the Tennessee game? Has there been other spots where they actually look like they're going to come away with a victory in games? No. I mean, I just don't see them staying up with this Cincinnati offense, which is so explosive with Jamar Chase on the outside and Joe Mixon just absolutely bulldozing people.
The Saints being 4.5 point underdogs at home. Does that line feel a little short for playing Tampa? I guess it depends on how tonight goes. I could see that line getting to like 6.5 if the aforementioned Seahawks win. If not, it could maybe, I don't know. That's a weird number to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be playing in New Orleans. They're going to have their fans. I just worry like this spot, unlike traditional spots where you and I like to go with New Orleans at home here, minus Drew Brees, I don't know if the offense can be efficient enough to prevent Tom Brady and the Bucs to keep them off the field and prevent them from scoring.
Yeah.
So I like Tampa with those short odds right now. Now, if this gets, upwards of a touchdown, I may reconsider, but currently I'd be leaning the visitor.
Okay. So we talked some lines. We caught up on the week that was, talked some injuries. Any bets you're making now? Any bets you're going to the window today and saying, give me?
Yeah. So Seahawks minus 3.5 for sure. I absolutely love that. Another one I'm looking at is I'm going to be taking, just to hedge this, Minnesota plus 2.5 at home right now, because if it gets deemed that Dak is out, this line definitely takes a flip and Minnesota's a 3-point favorite at home. So even though the indications are that Dak is going to return, this is no guarantee, especially with quarterbacks with ankle injuries, with a previous past of an ankle injury. I like taking the chance on maybe Minnesota becoming a favorite here if something changes injury status wise.
Yeah, I like that call. I like dogs on primetime games. The Vikings are seemingly trending in the right direction, and with a short line, there's not a big number for them to cover. I do wonder though, like we've seen them in the past few weeks, like kind of let teams crawl back into games, and they have to try and claw their way to get a win. They do that against Dallas, they're smoked. They're losing by 2 or 3 touchdowns. So that's kind of interesting. I know Washington's been struggling, but 3-point underdog against Denver, that seems a little short. I might be willing to hop on Washington there. Let's look at where some of the big money is coming in. Lots of money coming on the Chargers. That line's out to 5.5. The Panthers, people are on them. It was 3.5. Now it's 2.5.
I just can't get there with the Panthers.
People are on Denver, huh? 20% of the bets, 41% of the money thus far. All the money's on Dallas. 82% of the bets, 99% of the money.
Woo!
That says bet Minnesota to me.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
and then the Chiefs. I know that, like I like my Giants, but 10 points for the Chiefs, that can't beat anybody. Like the Giants are bad, so maybe they just dump truck them, but that seems like a big number for a team that's been struggling.
I don't know what to do with Kansas City right now. I think this is a spot where I'm in a wait and see mode with them, because if their defense cannot improve and begin to prevent other teams from keeping the ball out of the offense's hands, I don't trust them to cover any number, especially double digits against the Giants team, who, I mean, they looked pretty damn good on offense against a Panthers team that was the talk of the town early in the season as having the best defense in the NFL. So, and this was minus 4 huge offensive pieces for the Giants, who they may get a couple of these guys back this week against the putrid Chiefs defense. So I'd be more inclined to take the G-Man with the 10.
They're just losing players left and right. It is a big week for teasers. Bengals are an awesome teaser candidate. The Bills minus 13.5 teaser candidate. The Chiefs and or Giants you could get down. I could see reasons for both sides of that game.
Would we tempt fate and do the Rams again?
I think so. I think they were. After watching a lot of Texans football the past couple of weeks, don't ask me why, I just happened to make the screens. I think so. I think they're going to be frustrated with the way that game went too, and so they're going to go to Houston. They're gonna have a little rodeo and then head home with a big victory. What about teasing the Saints up, taking maybe 6 points and making them like plus 10.5 at home?
Man, that's I was thinking that, but with Tampa Bay's offense, how good they are, and with that, if that defense plays like they did yesterday or what we've seen them do on numerous occasions, it could be a blowout. So I don't think that it's gonna. I don't see the realm of possibilities of this game being a field goal game or a touchdown game. It's either a field goal game or Tampa is winning by multiple scores and just kicking the hell out of it.
That seems right. All right, Brian Twining, it was good to catch up. Good to recap the week that was. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're marching closer to 300 subs. We're getting more views than that, so we should be getting people smash that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you join us for our week 8 best bet show on Friday. That's Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert, and we'll talk to you guys next time.